Hello and welcome back to Everything Tumbler Tutorials. My name is Rebecca Escott and today I'm going to show you this super cute little snippet that I've already taken from a 12 by 12 sheet of printable vinyl from AB Designs. So I've already cut this down to size to go right in the center of this tumbler. Once I've applied this, then we're going to use the icing glitter from AB Designs, which is absolutely a stunner for glitter. We're going to apply that at the top and the bottom. So if you've ever seen me work with vinyls before, I prefer taking the backing completely off. Once I have the backing completely off, I will layer it on the tumbler, as you can see that I currently have in my cradle. I will work from the center out. So once I have this placed, and the cradle is essentially another hand for me, I will then pick the tumbler up off the cradle and work one side and then work the other. You will notice that this vinyl went on the tumbler better than I could have expected. I had no wrinkles and very little bubbles. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and take parchment paper and we're gonna wrap it around the tumbler to protect that printable vinyl. And I know I'm working with a sublimation tumbler and it's already white, but I love to apply my glitter using the wet spray paint method. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and tape this off and secure that parchment paper so that I can take it out very quickly, and I'm going to spray it with a flat white spray paint from Rust-Oleum, and then I'm going to come back in and glitter it. So because I painted white on white, this only needed one application. But you'll soon see that I do collect all that glitter back into my little container and I go over it one more time. But I didn't seal this or anything like that. I just went right on back over it just to make sure I had a nice solid application. Don't forget the bottom and tap off any excess glitter. Once you're happy with your glitter application, which I am, one coat, I'm now going to go ahead and remove the parchment paper. What we're going to do next is make sure that we clean up any bleeds using a baby wipe with glitter and or the spray paint. So we're going to clean all that up before I seal this. Once I seal this, I'm probably going to wait about 30 minutes and we'll be ready for the first coat of epoxy. So now that we have waited and we are nice and dry, we are ready to go ahead with our first coat of epoxy, which is going to be Quick Set from Glitter Craze. After about 3 hours, I will be ready to come back in for the final step. As with any coats of epoxy, make sure you use your heat torch to pop any bubbles that you may or may not be able to see. So now that this is dried for about 3 hours, we're ready to go in with this Cricut metallic purplish pink from Cricut. I want to say I got this from Michael's, but it could have been Walmart. I'm not 100% sure, but I did let Cricut and Design Space cut these vinyl stripes out for me. So what we're going to do is go ahead and apply the vinyl strips right onto the line that we've already created for ourselves earlier. If you don't prefer the overlap, you can use an X-Acto knife and or a pair of scissors and go ahead and snip that. That overlapped for me perfectly, so I left it. On this second stripe, I did have to go ahead and snip it with my scissors. Once I have my vinyl strips applied to the tumbler, I will take this out and I will seal it with Rust-Oleum 2x clear seal, just to make sure I don't have any lifts when I go to epoxy. In about 30 minutes, when that's completely dry, we're then ready to go ahead for another coat of epoxy. Here I am, and I am now ready for another coat of epoxy, which again is going to be Quick Set from Glitter Craze. Now, if you prefer, prior to this coat of epoxy, you can add a name and or a decal. I prefer to leave this as was because it's just the simplicity of it. I think sometimes less is more. This did take 2 final coats of epoxy and this tumbler was completed. I really thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. And if you did, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more tutorials coming soon. As with any coat of epoxy, make sure you use your heat torch to pop any bubbles that you may or may not be able to see.